All right, all right, all right. Three simple words that would echo across decades, shaping not only a career, but a cultural identity. They were spoken by a young, unknown Texan in his very first film role. At that moment, Matthew McConaughey wasn't yet a star. He wasn't yet an icon. He was simply a kid who stumbled onto a movie set, embraced the opportunity, and delivered a line that would live forever. But what if I told you there is so much more behind that iconic smile and southern drawl? What if I told you that Matthew McConaughey's story is not just about Hollywood glitz, fame, and fortune, but about grit, risk, resilience, philosophy, and a relentless pursuit of authenticity? This is the story of a boy from small-town Texas who became one of the most beloved actors of his generation, a man who rose to the top, fell into typecasting, disappeared, and then returned to redefine himself in ways no one expected. This is the story of the man, the myth, the legend, Matthew McConaughey. McConaughey was born on November 4th, 1969, in Uvalde, Texas. His parents, Jim and Kay, were fiery personalities. His father, a former NFL draft pick who ran an oil supply business, was tough, unpredictable, and larger than life. His mother was equally passionate, filling the house with energy, stories, and ambition. Matthew grew up the youngest of three brothers in a household where love was intense, but discipline was firm. He remembers his father's outbursts, his mother's fierce encouragement, and the constant reminder that life was to be lived boldly. In high school, Matthew was popular but not arrogant. He excelled in sports, was voted most handsome, and already displayed a natural charisma. But deep down, he was searching for something more, a path that wasn't yet clear. At this stage, acting was not even on his radar. In fact, his plan was to become a lawyer. And yet, life had other plans. At the University of Texas at Austin, McConaughey studied law, preparing for a stable, respectable career. But he soon discovered that the courtroom wasn't calling him. Instead, he was drawn to storytelling, to the magic of film. Switching majors to film studies was a bold move, one that disappointed his father at first. But Matthew was determined. He began reading screenplays, studying the art of cinema, and preparing himself for, well, he wasn't even sure what. And then fate intervened. At a local bar in Austin, he met casting director Don Phillips. That chance meeting led to an audition for Richard Linklater's film Dazed and Confused, 1993. McConaughey was only supposed to appear in a few scenes, but his natural charm, his effortless cool, and that improvised line, "All right, all right, all right," turned him into the breakout star of the movie. Suddenly, Hollywood noticed. The breakout success of Dazed and Confused put McConaughey on Hollywood's radar. But it was A Time to Kill, 1996, that transformed him into a star. As Jake Brigance, a small-town lawyer in a racially explosive trial, McConaughey showed remarkable composure for someone so new to leading roles. His final courtroom plea, delivered with raw emotion, remains one of the most quoted moments of his career. Suddenly, he wasn't just an up-and-comer. He was compared to Paul Newman and Gregory Peck. Offers poured in, thrillers, action films, romantic dramas. Studios saw in him a face that could sell tickets worldwide. Yet this rapid rise came with pressure. Overnight, McConaughey was on magazine covers, chased by paparazzi, expected to represent Hollywood's next great hope. Behind the confident smile, he understood the trap. The industry was eager to define him before he could define himself. The early 2000s cemented McConaughey as the charming romantic lead. The Wedding Planner, 2001, with Jennifer Lopez opened at #1 at the box office. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 2003, alongside Kate Hudson, became an international hit and made McConaughey a household name. Audiences loved him. His charisma, playful wit, and chemistry with co-stars were undeniable. Hollywood doubled down. Failure to Launch, 2006, Fool's Gold, 2008, and Ghosts of Girlfriends Past, 2009. Each movie followed a similar formula, and each earned millions. Financially, this period was golden. Artistically, however, it became suffocating. Critics began to dismiss him as a one-trick pony. The press focused more on his shirtless jogs than his performances. For an actor who valued depth, this was painful. McConaughey himself later admitted he felt trapped, recognized everywhere, yet not for the reasons he wanted. At the height of his fame, McConaughey made a bold, almost unthinkable move. He said no. He rejected one lucrative script after another, even walking away from offers worth $10 to $15 million. For nearly 2 years, he disappeared from Hollywood's radar. Instead, he moved back to Texas, focusing on his marriage to Camila Alves and raising his children. Life slowed down. Less red carpet, more family dinners. This was a gamble. In Hollywood, stepping away often means being forgotten. But McConaughey saw it differently. Unless he stopped feeding the rom-com machine, he'd never have the chance to rebuild his image. His absence created doubt in the industry, but it also created space for reinvention. The comeback began quietly. The Lincoln Lawyer, 2011, reintroduced him as a serious actor. Critics praised his sharp, commanding presence. Then came Mud, 2012, a poetic drama where McConaughey delivered a performance both rugged and vulnerable. In Magic Mike, 2012, he took a risk, playing Dallas, a sleazy strip club owner. It was risky, even self-deprecating. But it paid off. McConaughey stole scenes, proving he wasn't afraid to reinvent himself. And then came the defining role, Dallas Buyers Club, 2013. For the role of Ron Woodruff, a homophobic cowboy diagnosed with AIDS, McConaughey lost nearly 50 pounds, enduring grueling physical preparation. His performance was raw, layered, unforgettable. He won the Academy Award for Best Actor. The momentum didn't stop. True Detective, 2014, made him a cultural phenomenon. As Rust Cole, he delivered haunting monologues that became internet legends. Later that year, Interstellar showcased him on the grandest stage, an emotional center of a sci-fi epic. Critics dubbed it the McConaissance. It wasn't just a career revival, it was a total reinvention. By the mid-2000s, McConaughey wasn't just an actor, he was a voice. His Oscar acceptance speech, where he spoke about chasing his future self, was quoted worldwide. It wasn't Hollywood platitudes, it was a philosophy. In 2020, he published Green Lights, the book mixed memoir with personal reflection, guiding readers to embrace setbacks as stepping stones. It became an instant bestseller, topping charts for weeks. At the same time, he began teaching film at the University of Texas, inspiring students with both technical lessons and life wisdom. His charity work expanded too, supporting education and children's causes. This phase of his career revealed something deeper. McConaughey wasn't chasing fame anymore. He was chasing meaning. Today, McConaughey is admired as much for his choices as for his talent. He turned down easy money, risked obscurity, and came back stronger than ever. Talks of him entering politics, even running for governor of Texas in 2021, proved how much trust and admiration he commands. He ultimately chose not to run, but the very fact he was taken seriously shows his impact beyond Hollywood. His true legacy lies in reinvention. From rom-com star to Oscar winner, from Hollywood outsider to philosopher, McConaughey's life illustrates that success is not about comfort. It's about risk, resilience, and, as he puts it, finding your green lights. All right. Those words began his journey, but they don't define it. Matthew McConaughey does. From Texas to Hollywood, from rom-coms to Oscars, from the kid who wanted to be a lawyer to the man who became a legend. His story reminds us all, sometimes you have to risk it all to find yourself. Sometimes you have to say no to the easy path and yes to the unknown. And when life gives you a green light, you take it. Because that's how you write your own story. That's how you live your own legacy. This has been BioVault. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of the icons who shaped our world.